dare you interfere with my hunt? Got you! You cannot win this! Your heart is my goal. He's kill him! No! Die! No! Oh, Christ! For mankind, for my family.
This is no place for you, sir. I said go back home! Stupid beast! Die, please!
It's locked.
What good fortune brings you back to me, Jonathan? What is it, my dear?
I'm afraid it's bad news, Elizabeth. The worst, actually.
Please, speak up.
Edgar is no longer in McCullum's grasp. I resolved that matter.
Where is our good friend now? Is he well?
He was mortally wounded. I put an end to his misery.
That is terrible, Jonathan. And yet you did what you must. The poor man.
Edgar Swansea was responsible for the Skal epidemic, Elizabeth. It was he who unleashed the deadly scourge upon London.
What? Are you certain? This is the most terrible accusation of all.
He confessed everything to me. He sought to cure the disease, to exploit vampire blood to stop the epidemic. But he unwittingly gave birth to a catastrophe.
All those poor victims. How could he do it? What happened?
Edgar was a criminal. He abused every ethical tenet to test his theory about vampire blood as a cure for influenza.
I must say I'm shocked, Jonathan. Who would have thought it? And the poor patient. Let me guess. It was Harriet Jones, was it not?
Yes. That explains how Doris Fletcher was infected, and how she became an Ichor. She secretly visited her mother at Pembroke.
Then we have no choice. We must act quickly, Jonathan. We must return to the sewers and put an end to the threat poor Harriet embodies.
I have one more matter to discuss with you. Harriet Jones was the primary case, but do you know what a healthy carrier is?
There is a tone in your voice that frightens me, Jonathan. What are you trying to say?
It was your blood Edgar used for his experiment on Harriet Jones.
What? No. No. This can't be. Oh.
Elizabeth, are you all right?
No, I have to go.
What do you mean?
Leave me alone. Save the city, Jonathan. Save what can be saved.
Elizabeth, I need answers. Why did your blood
Stay
cause
away
this?
from me. Please. I swear I never was your
Wait!
enemy.
No! Elizabeth! Now would be a good time to blend the recipe Marshall used when he fought the disaster. I think I know where to find what I need. Whose blood could be purer than that of William Marshall?
This is now my domain, young Eccot!
To spare.
This is mine! Feed me!
Thanks to you, we have
Welcome
a
back,
new
Dr.
powerful
Reed.
member, Dr. Reed.
I hope the wall of Aloysius Dawson successfully keeps the epidemic. Don't you see we're trapped? What if McCullum decides to launch a full-scale attack against the club?
I heard the god of Prewin is about to strike us. We should go where we can.
Welcome back, my mortal peer. Let me look at you with my piercing new eyes.
Good evening, Aloysius. How do you feel?
Mr. Dawson to you. You may be my maker, and I thank you for that. But we must not forget etiquette.
Forgive me, sir.
You're forgiven, my dear doctor. And if you need anything, even the most expensive items to help you in your mission, you just have to ask. I'll be glad to sell you some of the rarest goods I own.
How is the sanitary situation in the city?
All is lost. The elite of this country is now grotesquely drooling and mumbling in the streets. London has fallen.
What is the situation in the club?
The Guard of Priwen now controls so many of the streets. I'm sure they will attack again soon. Rumor has it that the government is secretly financing them.
Can't you stop their plan? I've heard you're one of the most influential men in England.
We have to look at the bigger picture here. If Ascalon is about to fall, then perhaps it would be wiser to let it burn.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Dawson. You've lived a long life and have surely met some interesting and influential people.
Sod off! I don't reveal my life to someone I hardly know, whether he be my maker or not.
I beg your pardon?
You heard me. And remember, I already wear a protective amulet against your mental intrusions, Dr. Reed. I've studied your species for decades.
What is your plan, if I may ask? Not for the city, but for your own future.
My future and the future of this city are one, Dr. Reed. Step by step, London will soon be the center of the greatest empire ever.
Would it be insolent to ask what the first step will be?
I have ordered the assassination of my entire family to ensure I'm the sole heir to my fortune. I can't take the risk of facing another immortal Dawson.
When will that be achieved?
We should gain total control of Europe and the Western colonies, and aim to put an immortal king on the throne within a century.
Are you already planning a coup?
Of course not! My only interest is in the protection of the crown. I want to turn the legitimate king or queen into a powerful echo.
How do you feel since your return?
I think I may have acquired and read every forbidden document about vampires and how it feels to be an immortal. I even own a copy of the Blood Bible, but nothing compares to what I know now.
What is this Blood Bible?
It's supposedly the only documented evidence that an immortal attended the Last Supper. You should read it, if you ever find it.
What have you discovered?
That mortals are but puppets in our hands. I can sense a rat running in our attic right now. Nothing can stop me doing precisely what I want.
I may need equipment and some rare items to protect the city, sir. Good evening, Lord Redgrave.
Welcome, Lance-Bearer. To what do we owe this pleasure?
I've located the true origin of the epidemic, and I'm about to end it.
All is already lost. The city verges on collapse. The epidemic has spread so widely. Disgusting skulls are everywhere.
The epidemic could be stemmed if I destroy the original carrier. England can be saved, but only with Marshall's blood.
The blood of William Marshall? Of my maker? Are you mad? This blood is the purest of all. My maker proffered it to me on the battlefield. I cannot hand it to you.
Stop this farce. Marshall never was your maker. I have no idea how you acquired his blood, but I need it now.
I see. Well, in that case, given the gravity of the situation, I suppose I can spare you a drop.
Thank you, my lord.
Now go, Lance-bearer. Craft a legend to be sung to Ascalon recruits for the ages to come.
Swanborough cordial. Good evening, my dear colleague.
You look ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if you...
I have no doubt it would.
Well, there you have it.
Thank you.
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
When people buy guns instead of medication, it means they have already traded hope for fear in their hearts. In my book, that's never a good thing, Doctor.
I'd like to see...
Good evening.
My brother. I can't see anymore. I'm cold. Forgive me. For this time, I really leave you alone in the dark.
All the good boys joined the army and the scouts.
Against malevolent.
Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son.
Don't you...
Faith gives me all I need, my...
No doubt you're...
Blessed be your... Please forgive me, my lord, for my eyes were blind to the devil in front of me.
my task will remain unachieved.
Hello again, miss.
Oh, cruel thief. I still had so many things to give to this world. You stole all my tears and all my joys to come.
Good evening, Mr. Nithercott.
And good evening to you too.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be why... Death has no splendor at all. Oh, I see it now. I see it. Oh, the verses I could write.
This is now my domain! Watch yourselves! There's one of them! Die, vermin!
If McCullum really drank the blood of King Arthur, then I may have found another vital ingredient for my recipe. Good evening, Vampire Hunter.
Are you here to mock me, Reed?
Not at all, McCullum. I am here because I need you.
Really? I'm intrigued. Speak up, then.
I need the blood of a king. The blood of Arthur. I'm certain you possess it, and I must have it.
The Guard's most sacred and precious relic. Why would you? You found Marshall's memoirs. I should have destroyed that book.
I need the antidote to save this city, McCullum.
It is within me to take your words as truth. I want to, but I must know more. What precisely are your plans?
A creature called a disaster is about to be unleashed. It falls upon me, as once it did Marshall, to stop it before the whole country is ravaged.
I should have destroyed that book. And yet, I wish I could join this battle alongside you. But this crusade is not mine to fight.
Do you not understand? We wanted the same thing from the outset. A means to end this vampire epidemic.
Not enemies. Maybe that is so. Take it then. I see no other hope for this city. If this is some trick, you will be damned, Dr. Reed.
Thank you. Can we speak more?
Indeed. Why not?
Why are you here?
The man who raised me after the brutal murder of my parents. He's buried here.
Were both your parents killed by vampires?
Yes. And yet worse. My father returned to Dublin a vampire and tore out my mother's throat.
And who was this man?
Carl Eldritch. One-time leader of Priwen. He killed my father in front of me. Helped me hunt my brother Ain after teaching me how to kill leeches.
How are you adapting to immortality?
I feel so powerful it gives me shivers. I could be the greatest vampire hunter ever. Your worst nightmare, in truth.
Will you leave the Guard now that you are what you are?
Are we not creatures of deceit? I could hide my nature from my men, or name a successor. Go my own way. I know not yet my path.
Will you hunt me down?
You're a vicious beast, Reed. Perhaps the city needs you at this time, but I shall not forget what you did.
Farewell, my progeny.
Do not stretch your luck, Reed.
Don't come closer, sir. I said stay away, sir.
Crush the leech, boys! Die, beast! I hate leeches! Filthy fucking beast! Pay for this! Back in the grave, you!
I cannot use garlic, but there may be a substitute in the Pembroke Hospital drug storage.
Best run of the evening! Let's see how it likes a bit of fire! We will crush this! I'll take his head! Oh my god!
There it is. Insulin. Much more efficient than garlic against blood poisoning and sepsis, and much less dangerous for me. Thank you, Dr. Polescu. It's alive. It's alive. And it needs a name. I shall call you Lisa. The blend seems stable. Time to go and find Harriet in the sewers.